Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Coach JS, or JS Method, or Jamie as you guys may know me as, and today we're talking about warm-ups and how that pertains to League of Legends and how you can use them to make your rank better. So today I'm going to talk about the importance of warm-ups, why we do them, the fundamentals of warm-ups, and then I'm going to take you through the micro and the macro and mental part of it, and how you can create your own warm-up that works for you following these principles. So the first thing to talk about is the importance of warm-ups. The reason we want to warm up is because we want to make sure that while we're practicing, we're getting the most value out of our practice, especially because we only have a limited amount of practice time per day. We only have so much time in a day. We only have so much energy in a day. When we're playing and we want to improve, we want to be getting the most efficient, the most value out of our games as possible. How are we going to do that? We're going to prime ourselves to be ready to practice. And if we're not warming up, you get streaks like this. This is from one of my accounts, and it was on one of my days off, and I was like, I'm gonna hop on my diamond account, I'm gonna have a little bit of fun. And it's like significantly lower rated than my main account, so I'm like, well, I can just like hop on and play and win all the games today, right? No, I didn't warm up. I had a bad mental state going into it. I had some bad fundamentals that I'll touch on later. And look at what happens. I lost, 6 straight games that day. And it's like, that's not a coincidence. There are things you can do to stop this from happening, or at least stop it from happening as often. And when it does happen, if we're primed to learn and we're ready to practice, these loss streaks will still be valuable to us. I learned nothing from this because I was very kind of bad with it. If we're not practicing, if we're not warming up before we practice and before we play solo queue, well, it's going to hurt our account. Our rank's going to be lower. Our MMR is going to be worse. Our peak rank's going to be lower. It's going to build bad habits because you're always kind of catching up in your games. You're using your game as warm-up rather than executing what you know. You're holding yourself back from executing what you know if we're not warming up. It can be bad for your health, your wrist health, your mental health, and it's not efficient. So, when we talk about warm-ups and the fundamental of warm-ups, we want to remember to keep it short. We don't want our warm-ups to get super, super long. I know a lot of people will do like these super long warm-ups, and then a lot of their energy is spent on the warm-up, and then we don't get to use it in our practice session. The goal of a warm-up is to prime ourselves for the practice session. So we're going to keep it short, and we're not going to spend too much energy on warming up. This means like stay away from playing a warm-up game. It takes too much energy. It takes too much time. That's not what we want to do. The second fundamental for warming up is that in League, we want both a physical and a mental warm-up. Games with zero mechanics like chess, I think a mental warm-up may be good enough. And games like, sports require more of a physical warm-up than League, but we do have to do both in League. So we have to warm up our hands, and then we have to kind of prepare ourselves to compete. We have to prepare ourselves to practice. So the first part is mental, and I would do this first, getting yourself mentally prepared to compete, mentally prepared to be a beast, right? So the ways that you can do this, you can review your games from your last session. This is something that Coach Curtis does. Coach Curtis plays in blocks of 3. He'll play 3 games. And then before his block, he'll review his games from the previous block. Now, what that does is it puts him back in the mind state of League of Legends and of improving. And it refocuses him on what he's currently working on. Because like, oh, in my last play session, I was working on this and this and this, and this is what happened. So in this session, I'm going to pick it up like this, right? So reviewing your previous games is a good way. Also, reviewing games of your champion of higher elo players is good as well, because you're like, oh, okay, this is what they're doing. You're kind of getting in that mindset, ready to play the game. Getting your blood flowing is a good idea. So cranking out some jumping jacks, doing some push-ups, doing some burpees before your game, just getting your blood flowing is really, really good for your mental. Maybe music, maybe motivational videos, right? And the reason I'm putting these as ideas rather than a step-by-step plan is because everybody warms up a little bit differently and everybody reacts to different stimuli differently. So what you're going to do is you're going to take these ideas and you're going to craft it in a way that works for you. Me personally, I really like motivational videos. I really like music, and I really like reviewing my games. I don't like reviewing my games that much before the session. I like to review my games after I play them. So I'm not going to review my games as my mental warm-up. I'm going to do a little bit of exercise. I'm going to listen to some music. I'm going to listen to some motivational videos, and then I'm going to go in and get after it. The second part of a warm-up or a mental warm-up, getting prepared to play the game, which is almost not really a warm-up, it's like outside of the game, is setting the foundation. You do not want to queue up tilted, right? If you're feeling tilted, then, you know, you're not fulfilling your mental warm-up. Just take a step back, take a break. You want to make sure you're getting enough rest, you're sleeping enough, whatever, and you want to make sure that you're being physically healthy, right? You want to make sure that you're eating okay and that you're getting enough exercise, because these things give you the right mental, and they make your mental health stronger. And if your mental health is stronger, your body health is stronger, and if your entire self's health is stronger, it's much easier to get after the game. And you can see here, a lot of people think, I included this picture of Tyler because Tyler has phenomenal discipline, and he actually has a good mental in terms of getting ready to play. Now, he's toxic when he gets in game and he types too much and sometimes he gives up, and that's not good. But what is good from Tyler is he is built different, and you want to kind of channel that built different, I'm ready to go and get after it kind of attitude. All right, you want to be a lion, right? You want to hop on the solo queue rift, be ready to tear the throat out, right? So be mentally prepared to be different, be built different, be mentally prepared to put the work in. If we're trying to climb, this kind of mental priming is super, super important for getting good practice in. Okay, so the second part is physical. Now, the physical part, again, this is really what I'm referring to when we're saying keep it limited. You want to keep this to about 10 minutes or under, because if it's too much more than that, you start to waste some of your physical energy on the warm-up rather than the practice session. But the very first thing we should do with any physical warm-up is to stretch. And mostly in League, we're stretching our wrists and our hands. There's some really good videos. I really like this video by this guy. If you just Google hand and wrist exercises for gamers, you'll see it. He talks about, you know, I'll just give you some ideas here, but rolling your wrist out, kind of putting it out in front of you and stretching it back this way and then stretching it back down, rolling it around, doing some of these different hand positions, like stretching your hands out, make a little tabletop, do I think I called this a claw or something, a half fist, a full fist, roll it out. He says some massages in the video. So look up the video and you can see some things and some things for you. Now, this is really important because it prevents tightness, it prevents pain, it allows you to staying loose allows you to have higher APM, higher accuracy. But the number one important thing is it's important for longevity. If you want to play League for a long time and you want to play League at a high level for a long time, it's especially important for somebody like myself who, like, this is my career and I played collegiate and, you know, I really like playing solo queue at a high level. If you want to do that, you have to stretch your wrists. You have to be physically healthy, or you will kill your wrists, you will kill your hands, and you won't be able to be as accurate with it. So start with stretching your hands and your wrists. Stretching your full body is good just for your mental health, but in terms of a physical warm for League, stretch your wrists. Now, past stretching, again, there are some ideas that you can execute. Personally, what I do is I like to hop into practice tool, and I actually have a picture of here what I'll do. I'll spawn a dummy and I'll just practice auto spacing, right? I'll practice auto attacking and then moving as much as possible, kiting around, and then auto attacking again when my auto attack's back up. So it look like auto attack, move around. Maybe I'll decide to kite forward, auto attack, kite forward, auto attack, kite back this way, right? Or maybe I'll kite around the circle until I'm landing my auto attacks on beats, on time, and I'm moving as much as possible in between each auto attack, right? And I'm like, that's good for me. And if your champion has any combos, right, you can practice your combos, and he doesn't really have any combos. I'll practice auto Q auto because that's really good for trading with electrocute on Annie. So combos for your champions, auto spacing, all of those things. And then I'll personally last hit. I'll last it until I feel comfortable. It's usually 3 to 4 waves. Again, not that long. 3 to 4 waves ends up being 2 minutes. So not that long. And then LOL Dodge Game is also another powerful tool for warming up. Now, this is it's a mini game you play in your browser where you walk around, you dodge these little fireballs, and you shoot skill shots at these little guys that walk at you. And it's really good for warming up your clicks and your click accuracy, your APM, your actions per minute, and your skill shots. So super good tool. Look up LOL Dodge Game. There's a bunch of videos on it. Coach Curtis has a really good one. So if you're interested in LOL Dodge Game, check that out. So yeah, find a warm-up that works for you. Have a mental component to it. Have a physical component to it, and keep it limited. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Warm-ups are really, really important. Also, I hope you guys enjoyed the new upload schedule. We're doing every single day. Drop below in the comments if you want to see any coaching content covered. I appreciate you guys watching. Check the description for any links. You guys can find my Discord, my Twitch stream, my TikToks, coaching links. If you want any of that stuff, it's all in the description. I really appreciate you guys spending the time and watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a blessed day. Peace.